And that ties into what Eveline, did I get that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Thank you. That goes right to your point in the chat.
Mhm.
So please build on what you've written there.
Yeah, so I'm teaching in higher education, and I do some trainings in corporations or organizations. So what I normally do is at the end of each session, and they are not obliged to tell it to everyone, to the group, but it's only to take with them and to reflect on it, and they can communicate with me about it if they want. That is to give 3 new words or insights to sum up 2 things for themselves that makes them curious and that they want to dive deeper into that content or knowledge, and 1 thing that they will try to change from today or tomorrow on. What I also do in the beginning, and that I didn't write, is if I start a new workshop or a new lesson or a new week, a new lesson with my students, for example, then I ask, yes, with the content that we have seen last week and the observations and what you lived through during the week, do you see any connections? So that's also a kind of reflection. But
I
they
like
know
that.
yeah, but they know they have to reflect a lot with me. So.
Right. So they're used to it, right? So if we go to one
Yeah.
of your classes, we know we're going to be expected to do that.
Yes. And it's also important because I often ask my individual learners, I will say, for core questions, and that is from the course on what makes you curious. Do you think that you can use also your experience that you have already in this course? Do you think it's useful? And do you think it's important for your future goals? And that they don't have to answer me directly, but it's also to go from motivation to engagement. Because if you ask that questions, they go to the core, why they are following the course.
I like that. Would you mind repeating those 4 questions, please?
Yes. So first I ask, does the subject make you curious? Does it trigger you also to learn more? Second, can you use your experience and knowledge that you have already within the course? Is the course useful? Because maybe it goes too slowly or too fast. It can also be a time. It's not useful for my time, for example. And the 4th question is, will it help to catch my future goals?
And so do you have them write the answers out as part of a journaling process, or is it something that's discussed out loud? How are you organizing that?
Until at the moment, I don't oblige them to do that. And normally I prefer that they communicate that with a neutral person, not with me, because certainly in higher education, I'm also responsible for the grades. So I don't want to interact with that role that I have. And in fact, the method that I use is a kind of ongoing conversation. So like, for example, every 1 or 2 weeks, they have those questions and they say it to the person, or they fill it in. And then with the data I have of all the students and learners, the second conversation is in fact between the individual and the group.
Okay. So that's a great pair and share activity, right? So you can break them up into pairs and let them have these sorts of conversations. I think are really great reflection opportunities. I love this. This is a great idea, because it takes those, because a couple of the questions that you're stating here are questions that you might find on a level 1 type of evaluation. But I think that bringing them to the forefront and having a robust conversation around it with a partner or within a small group, then they can then bring parts of the training to the forefront and say, this part really did help me, and this is how, so I think that that's a great spin on that. So thank you.
Yeah. And also, for example, when somebody say, no, it's useless for me because the course is going too slow, then it means that he or she has already a lot of experience, knowledge about that subject. So, and then you can matchmake them and give them the opportunity to help another student with their learning part.
Mhm.
And it's another way also of learning, to explain it to somebody else. And that I'm trying to do with my groups.
Sure. Thanks for that. I love this technique, and I think it's very applicable. And let's jump here to Andrew. So Andrew had a question within the chat, which was, I don't know, Andrew, if you want to expand on this, but you said, shouldn't it be the manager asking the reflection questions? So I'd love to get the group's opinion. I know you guys know I have an opinion, but I'm really interested in what everybody else has to say about that question.
Yeah, I have an opinion too, so I want to hear what everybody else says.
We're all loaded with opinions.
I think it depends on the question or the nature of the reflection. So if it is something about the reflection and how it will be applied or something, then yes, I mean, I guess the manager can be asking that question. But in general, I don't know. I mean, it's adult learners, so I don't know that it needs, sometimes it's more intimidating if it comes from somebody where there's the direct relationship, as is it Evelyn just mentioned, like as the instructor in a course where you're grading somebody, it might not be as psychologically safe for those questions to be answered as it is in another forum and with somebody with whom you do not have a direct reporting relationship.
Yep. I would agree with what you said there. Anyone else have an opinion or a thought?